concerned about voter fraud, right? I'd like to remind everybody, here in Arizona, in order to get a state-issued ID, I have to prove that I'm a citizen of the United States and prove I'm a resident. And guess what you need? That's right, a birth certificate. And guess what you need to get a passport? A birth certificate. So let's ask ourselves why Donald Trump and the MAGA movement are pushing something called the SAVE Act. Why are they trying to add extra layers to registration? Because remember, you've proven your citizenship to get your state-issued ID, and you use that state-issued ID to register to vote. And right now there's a lot of talk about nationalizing the vote. Taylor, we gotta make sure our elections are secure. Sorry, not sorry. Stick with me here. Now, who am I? My name is Taylor, and I run the Strategic Owl, and I'm an independent data analyst. Now, if you haven't heard, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, people who are tasked with monitoring election security infrastructure, people who would know if Venezuela or China or Russia were hacking our voting systems, have confirmed that we run the most secure elections in modern history. I also know that there's people who believe Elon Musk somehow hacked the voting machines. A bunch of statistical anomalies in different counties. Listen, I hear you all. I really do. And I use the idea of statistical anomalies for a reason. Just because a county has been historically Democrat and then now votes Republican doesn't mean that there's some sort of nefarious actions going on in the background. I think that we have to accept the idea that Americans have been demoralized. And what I mean is that people don't trust institutions like colleges, the media. People don't trust their governments. And a lot of that makes a lot of sense. Back when Russia was called the USSR, this is something that KGB actively tried to do, which is trying to ideologically subvert Americans. So we don't know who to trust. And that makes us vulnerable because we want a strong man. Hence Donald Trump. My daddy. Your daddy. You see what I'm saying? People want a strong man. And I don't know why people think Donald Trump's a strong man. Strong men take ownership on their actions and they just don't blame everybody else. So you manly men out there supporting Donald Trump, you're really just a bunch of weak, shall I say, woke bitches? So now that I pissed everybody off, your voice matters. Your vote matters. I also know a lot of people distrust our voting systems. They believe it's completely rigged. So they just given up. They're like, I'm not gonna go vote. It's not worth it. And that's really the last thing that we need. If you think our systems are rigged, the first thing you need to do is go vote. If you think candidates are propped up, then you need to go vote in a primary. Civic engagement goes beyond voting once every 4 years. Civic engagement is like attending city council meetings, talking to each other again. And it may not always be easy, but just ignore the personal insults, listen to each other to understand each other, instead of always looking to respond. We gotta stop those knee-jerk reactions, folks. I did that for you. You know who I'm talking to. Okay, visit my website, go to the voting dashboard, get registered to vote. So join the movement. The Strategic Owl. My name's Taylor. I love you, America. Peace out.